In the cursed village of Eldermire, Aria's heart raced as she stumbled upon her family's heirloom hidden deep in the attic, a gilded mirror, shimmering with an eerie allure. Dust motes danced in the dim light, amplifying the air of mystery that surrounded the polished glass. Legends whispered that this mirror could unveil the deepest, darkest truths, and as Aria approached, a mix of fear and intrigue fluttered in her chest. She inhaled sharply, her breath hitching as she peered into its depths. Instantly, a cold shiver cascaded over her. There, a figure flickered in the glass, an unrecognizable silhouette twisted around her own. "Who are you?" she gasped, her voice trembling with dread. The reflection wavered, morphing into a shadowy woman with piercing eyes, and Aria's mind raced with recognition. It was Elda, a witch spoken of in the village's hushed tones. "You must tread carefully, Aria. This mirror bears a curse. Face the truth, or lose yourself forever." Those words wrapped around her mind like chains as she staggered backward. A jarring vision engulfed her senses. Her closest friend, ensnared in shadow, cried for help. The ominous laughter echoed in her ears, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lay ahead. Aria's heart thudded painfully as despair draped over her like a suffocating cloak, leaving her at the precipice of an abyss. Haunted by the nightmarish image of her friend ensnared in shadows, Aria felt an inexplicable force drawing her back to the gilded mirror. As dusk settled, the weight in her chest grew heavier with each step toward the attic. "Elda." She called out, her voice barely a whisper, laced with fear. "What do you want from me?" The surface of the mirror rippled like a stormy sea, and with a primal instinct, Aria's heart raced as fragments of her past sprung forth. Betrayals sliced through her like invisible daggers, moments of sorrow she had long buried emerged, friends lost to darkness, decisions made in haste. Elda's voice echoed in the depths of her memories. "The truth is a heavy burden, Aria." Shadows began to dance, tendrils curling around her, suffocating her spirit. A deafening crack suddenly tore through the air, the mirror shattered, shards flying like vicious darts, slicing through her reality. In the chaos, a distorted face materialized from among the shards, her friend, trapped and screaming for help. Fear consumed Aria, heart pounding, as she reached out toward the glimmering pieces of glass and the darkness closing in around her. As the remnants of the shattered mirror glinted ominously in the fading light, realization crashed over Aria like a brutal wave. She needed Elda to mend the broken pieces before it was too late. She dashed through the twisted paths of the darkened forest, the air crackling with an uneasy energy. Each rustle of leaves whispered echoes of the past, shadows of the tragic destruction that had befallen Elda's coven. Upon reaching Elda's hiding place, tension hung thick in the atmosphere. "You didn't just break the mirror, you unleashed a storm, Aria." Elda's voice cut through the silence, sharp yet betraying concern glimmered in her eyes. Dark clouds swirled ominously above as if mirroring their discord. Determined, they began gathering the shards, each fragment pulsing ominously, echoing nightmares and dreadful revelations. Shadows encroached ever closer, filling the air with dread. Suddenly, a chill raced down Aria's spine as darkness loomed more substantial behind her. From the shadows emerged an unsettling figure, a doppelganger, a twisted reflection of herself, its eyes glittering with malice. Panic surged through Aria's veins, as she realized this was not merely a vision, but a horrifying embodiment of her darkest fears. Aria stood trembling in the fading light, a doppelganger looming before her, an unsettling, sinister reflection of her own fears and hidden desires. "This is an illusion," she cried, shaking her head in denial, but the figure merely smirked, a cruel twist of her own features taunting her. Electric tension crackled in the air, raw and charged. Each glance upon her doppelganger revealed conflicting layers of her own psyche, trust shrank, and the silence screamed of buried secrets. "You're me," Aria whispered, horror clawing at her chest as the realization sank in. "You represent everything I fear, my failures, my darkness." The confrontation forced her to grapple with an unsettling truth. The darkness, was it something she could conquer, or a part of her essence that could never be fully vanquished? A fierce determination surged through her as she locked eyes with the reflection. In that charged moment, she felt the weight of her soul teetering on the brink. The doppelganger lunged, poised with lethal precision to strike at the core of her spirit. Aria remained frozen, heart pounding, understanding that this battle within her was about to reach its devastating zenith. Time hung heavy as Aria prepared for impact, her breath quickening in anticipation. But as the doppelganger lunged, something sparked deep within her. Resilient fire ignited, forcing her to scream, "You hold no power over me." The words echoed through the forest, rising above the despair as she channeled her fear into a shimmering shield of light. The doppelganger faltered, momentarily taken aback by her defiance. Seizing the opportunity, Aria lunged for the scattered shards of the mirror, each piece imbued with whispers of her latent power, echoes of her potential. As she began to weave spells with them, the air thickened around her, charged with raw energy, the fragments pulsing in sync with her intentions. Just as victory seemed tangible, the whispers grew louder, each sound nagging at her spirit with unsettling questions. Is the power to change only found within? Doubt crept in, along with the shadows encroaching ever closer, their looming presence filling her mind with trepidation. Aria exchanged a glance with Elda, their fates intertwined, and determination blossomed anew. They had one final chance to reclaim everything they had lost before the consuming darkness erased their light. The atmosphere buzzed with electricity as Aria stood resolute before the scattered shards. The dark whispers from the fragments grew deafening, each one echoing a chilling truth. The curse can only be broken with a sacrifice. A mixture of terror and defiance coursed through her. With tears stinging her eyes, Aria cried out, "No, I won't sacrifice who I am." Gathering her courage, she closed her eyes and wove her thoughts into the remnants of light that surrounded her. Elda joined her, their combined power intertwining in a symphony of ancient wisdom and fierce resolve, forging a spell to mend what was broken. In an explosion of radiant energy, their magic transformed the atmosphere, sweeping away the enveloping darkness in a breathtaking flash. The shards aligned, glowing with newfound light, reflecting Eldermire, once again filled with hope. The air became saturated with warmth, the heaviness of despair dissipated like mist in the dawn. As the last shard clicked into place, the curse shattered, dispersing harmlessly into the ether, restoring vitality to every corner of the village. The darkness retreated, banished by the revival of hope, leaving Aria and Elda standing united, their bond solidified through trials faced together. Although scars of truth would linger, they found strength in their newfound light, realizing together that even the most broken reflections could shine brilliantly anew.